Radiant team back. Dire team back. Radiant team back. Dire team ban. Radiant team pick. Dire team pick.
Faceless Void.
Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Earth Shaker.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Radiant team ban.
Drow Ranger.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
I hope everyone's stocked up on their drinks and their snacks for this series here between Viking GG and Cyber Legacy. It's another elimination series here in round number 4. One of these two teams will be exiting the tournament. The other one stays alive for another round here. We're getting ready for game number 1 draft. It's already here. We don't have to get ready anymore because it's on top of us. Now I've got Danok, I've got Godot. Lads, talk us through the start.
Well,
5
Viking GG,
seconds
they
remaining.
won the coin flip, they went for first pick, and Cyber Legacy chose Dire. So typically when you do that, you want to go for a bit more of a farm-oriented style, which
Radiant
feels
team
more
back.
fitting to Cyber Legacy's playstyle. They
Dire
love giving
team
Kuban
back.
a great game if they can. We've seen if things don't go their way, he does like a bit of a rage, unfortunately for him. But Dire, you can get so many of those camps stacked up. The tri-camp area really easy to stack as well, those two ancients and the hard camp. So I'm liking it, but the draft is pretty good by Viking
10
GG so
seconds
far, just with
remaining.
these early picks.
Obviously, every team has their prioritization when they
5
decide
seconds
or
remaining.
first pick, second pick. Viking GG is one of the only team, if I would say, or one of the two only teams that have actually been prioritizing first pick here, which is kind of interesting. Generally, when you have the last pick, you can do cheese
Radiant
picks. You
team
can also
ban.
just pick and then ban heroes you don't want to verse. And at the same time, you got the last pick for mid as well, which is very important for the matchup since the IS teams primarily like that. Or if you're versing certain teams like Liquid who have cheese picks, you want to have the last pick just so you
Dire
don't.
team
In
ban.
this scenario here, if Viking GG don't care about it, Magical does play more of those farm-intensive heroes as you mentioned before, so maybe that's one of the reasons where Viking GG doesn't really care about it.
Yeah, do you think they could get away with that though? They've already picked up a Shaker, so really slow early game,
10
ability to be
seconds
exploited, but you've got the Drow for the pushing potential. I will be really stunned if Cyber
5
Legacy do not
seconds
ban the
remaining.
Snapfire right now, because, you know, such easy synergy to get with the Faceless Void. It's one of Solari's most played heroes. I mean, why not?
Also, on top of that as well, Cyber Legacy, I do like what they have here. I mean, although the Rubik does have an easy time here with the Earthshaker being already picked up, you can steal the Fisher and whatnot, but they have a very easy to execute lineup here, revolving around the Drow. They can protect her with the Fisher, and obviously prevent the Face Void from actually utilizing the Chrono effectively, which makes their timings a lot easier, as well as a lot faster for Cyber Legacy. And it's kind of taking a page a little bit from Secret's lineup, where they picked up the CM in the third pick here. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see if they go for that approach, just buffer the Drow strat, play very fast, play around the objectives, and not really caring about what the enemy is going to pick, because they're going to have to go on that Drow, right? And they're just going to have to play their own style.
And they're putting a lot of favor into
Dire
Toki
team
as well, right? mentioned, I forget who it was, but someone on the team said, I think it was Soleri, that he is the best player in their opinion
Yes,
on the
totally.
team. And so
Radiant team
they've gotten rid of 3 offlane heroes themselves, and they pick up Snapfire themselves. Yeah, I don't mind it at all.
Team
Yeah,
pick.
Well, luckily enough for her, there's not too many darn wizards.
not too many done.
Get out of here, man.
Wizard?
Wizards.
Wizard.
Like wizards.
I mean, Mars is nice against the Drow Ranger. That's always good to have.
I like it. It's just your typical offlane hero that can set up for good team fights. It's got
10
good
seconds
damage. It's a
remaining.
very well balanced type hero and strong laning emphasis. Well,
And
got the
5
Rubik paired up
seconds
on that
remaining.
lane.
And for team fights as well, you've just got, you just toss down the arena between the Drow and your more squishy heroes, and suddenly she can't really do much of anything.
Yep, my main concern right now is they're looking a little bit of damage. They're going to really have to follow it up with their later picks, and Timbersaw makes it even harder because now they're going to need to get a specific route of damage and matchups to actually deal with them. And this is one of Blizz's heroes.
Yeah. So what have we got left? We've got mid laner, you would think, for Cyber Legacy with the last pick overall,
10
and the
seconds
mid and
remaining.
the position 5 for Viking GG, we're thinking.
5 seconds
For
remaining.
We've seen
middle.
Soleri go for a lot of Chens, Benj, Chantress. 2 of those heroes already taken out, so the Chen's the only one that's sitting really in my books here. Does that provide enough damage against the Timbersaw, you guys think? Or do you want to
No.
see something a little more magic damage heavy, like maybe Grimstroke or Shadow Demon or something like that?
Radiant
Grim is something that
team
they run. I
back.
don't mind the Shadow Demon that much either, but they're going to go for a tiny. Okay, so both teams like to play this mid as well, so it's actually the most common hero across both of the teams. Yes, they can flex it Aramis on Viking GG, but I don't know.
It's a tiny mid, for sure.
Yeah.
There's just no way they put it as a position
10
for all 5
seconds
here
remaining.
because they're just not going to have that early acceleration on timings like the
5
Blink
seconds
Dagger, fast
remaining.
levels on Stun Toss. You need damage to deal with
Dire
these
team
lineups as
back.
well. Like you have a Timbersaw who's going to pretty much have a good game, as you can already see by the lineup. But if you have a Tiny who can come online really quick, he can rotate to the Timbers lane, get those kills, just to help out the faces forward a little bit, get the Blink Dagger, be able to combine maybe a
Radiant
buddy system
team
with the
back.
Mars so you can get the back line. If they play it as a 4 or a 5, you're just not going to hit those timings, you're not going to have those levels, you're not going to be able to fight into the Timber regardless.
See,
So-
this is where the flexibility really comes into the equation, right? Because I'm kind of surprised there has been no Lena's banned out. And I feel like if this is Liquid's
10
dropped on
seconds
Viking GG,
remaining.
they're like, cool, we'll just give Insania the Rubik, and then we'll have
5
Tiger play
seconds
something like a
remaining.
Lena. Good magic damage, good stuns, useful during a Chronosphere. I don't mind it at all, but I don't know if they have it in their playbook.
Yeah, I feel like they've kind of drafted a little poorly. I mean, the Mars pick looked good, but they didn't ban out the
Dire
Timber, which is a
team
little
back.
surprising. There's also a lot of heroes that they didn't ban out, which Blizzy really excels, and that would have been the Battle Rider. So even if you ban out the Timber, you still have to worry about these other heroes like they could have also opened up with.
Yeah, Bat's still in the pool. Magical plays it a fair amount, so that could be the mid laner as well.
And now
Radiant
that you've already
team
revealed that it's a tiny mid, it's going to be very easy to get that matchup.
Yeah.
And it's not like you can flex it either. As we pointed out, the Timbersaw pick just destroys the tiny, even if it is a position 5. With Rubik's position 5, you can't really zone out the Timbersaw. So they're a little bit of in the pickle right now for Viking GG. They need someone who
10
can do
seconds
damage
remaining.
and can secure laning emphasis because
On Viking?
yeah, so
5
because if they
seconds
don't have
remaining.
anyone who can start fights and they don't have any winning lanes, they're just going to get snowballed until, I mean, Void can maybe get a big chrono or if he got enough timing, enough time to farm his items. But that's not going to happen against the Drow. That's the issue.
So we're thinking, trying to think of a good lane hero. The one hero that I can think of is maybe the Chen to give that Penitence extra bonus damage against the Timbersaw, try and burst him down. And have a toss combo a little bit earlier on, maybe burst him down in the arena as well. But I would have loved the Witch Doctor, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think Cyber Legacy's draft has been pretty damn good. You know,
Yeah,
outside
I
of
agree.
the Earthshaker, I was feeling a little shaky about them picking it up first. It's really not going to get banned out super early on. That's the thing. So, yeah, going into something like a Snapfire first perhaps would have been the better way to go about it. Really, the only hero that Viking GG play a lot is the Chen and the Io, but they're much
They're
more
really
passive.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not good.
I mean, there's a Lich still in the pool, which
Yeah.
is kind of okay, but, you know, who do you put that Frost Shield on?
What about something like a Bane, lads? We haven't seen much of it. Pretty good laner.
Like Pos 5 Viper, maybe, but it's just too passive. I just want to get something that's going to stop this
Dire
Timbersaw
team
from
pick.
bullying the Void as much
I
as
love how
possible.
Cyber Legacy has banned as
Yeah,
well.
Lich. I mean, it's damage, right? You're able to do a little bit of harass. I'm just concerned of who are they going to put the Frost armor onto.
Yeah, I love
Mars.
how Cyber Legacy have actually drafted this.
Yep.
And look at their later bans as well. They've just made it
10
in a
seconds
sense where
remaining.
Timber's going to actually have a good game no matter what. So I don't think the Lich is going to be enough
5
to actually
seconds remaining.
stop the Timber from farming. Maybe he can pressure him a little bit so that the Face of Void gets some farm. But all in all, I mean, Timber's going to have a good time. Drow's going to have a good time. And they have last pick for middle as well, which is going to have a good time.
I mean,
so...
this could honestly even be Timber mid, right? Against the Tiny.
I don't think they'll do that because Blizzy loves the
Oh,
Timber.
of course he does.
And I think this is a game where no matter what, he's going to have a good time. And now if they pick a hero that's going to have a very good matchup against the Tiny and stop that Tiny from getting levels and being able to rotate, that's going to prevent Viking GG from actually playing their game. And that's very important for Cyber Legacy.
I have a question. I know this might sound a little too brain from me, but what about a Broodmother for Cyber Legacy? Magical loves in that hero of Days of Old.
Nah.
Not good enough.
I don't know. I'm feeling more strongly about something like maybe a Nature's Prophet, maybe Bat Rider, another potential option for them.
Ember Spirit.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Amber.
Okay. Yeah, they played a fair amount. Good flex when they do draft it early on with Kuman, but you would think it's going to be Magicals. It gives them. Are they lacking stuns really?
Surprised they went for the Ember. I actually would have appreciated more of a aggressive lane dominant hero because they know for sure Boom, as you see, is going to be playing the Tiny and they could have actually punished him here. And this game is really reliant on the Tiny to make his side lanes a little bit more relieved when it comes to pressure.
And especially with like 0 armor, you would think like a ranged hero, like a Prophet, right? Good attack animation, just bully him out of the lane, force him to get a bit more regen as opposed to his key item timing might have been the better way to go about it. But Cyber Legacy, we can't
10
complain about their
seconds
draft in the
remaining.
first 4 picks.
I think it's still okay, the Ember. It's like, it's just not so
5
good for the laning
seconds
phase, but
remaining.
it's a very good Ember game. It's very hard to kill him. You already have the Timber and a Drow that you have to prioritize as well. So you got this tri-core that all do damage and are all very hard to kill. I actually have to go Cyber Legacy with this.
All right,
one.
lads. So as we can see here with the GG bet odds, Viking come into this as favourites, but it looks like the draft is starting to favour Cyber Legacy. So one word answer, lads. Predictions. Where we at?
He said Cyber, I'm probably going to say the same. It feels like that Lich is kind of a it'll do pick.
Yep. All right, looks like it's good feelings all around here for the boys of Cyber Legacy. Game 1 draft feels like it's in their favour. We're going to hear from Gareth and Lacoste with game number 1.
Thanks, guys. Here we are, game 1 of this best of 3. As again, Lacoste, very, very thankful to give them the task of casting a game where someone's tournament lives are on the line. One loss here in this series. Out as we get ourselves into Viking versus Cyber Legacy. Panel going for Cyber Legacy. Are you feeling any different?
Yeah, I have to go the other way. I feel like Viking has a much better draft. Like, it's not ideal for some game where it's gonna pop off. They have ways to deal with them. And here's the pause, lag. You didn't even join the game. How do you know the game's lagging? But whatever. So yeah, to go back to the talk about the game. Timbersaw, he's playing into Faceless Void. It was a last pick glitch. I don't like when teams are last picking a position 5 hero that is not going to have that much of an impact, especially against hero like Timbersaw. Don't get me wrong, they can kill Timber, but utilizing the last pick to get like, wow, this is it. This is what's going to round up our draft nicely. This is going to be our win condition possibly, and I don't think you should be using on position 5 in certain situations. Yes, they had to adjust in this game, but expected a different. Thank God Cyber Legacy banned out Grimstroke. It would have been a perfect pick against the Timber, against the Ember. Like, go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, and the Witch Doctor as well, right? You know, I was just about to come to that. You're saying that it was kind of difficult for Viking to get that last pick. It kind of had to be the position 5, and 2 very good bans from Cyber Legacy, Witch Doctor and Grimstroke, where, you know, you're talking about impact, and those 2 heroes, they can either kill the Timbersaw off, or they give you that massive amount of team contribution. Always help out. So Cyber Legacy, they've got Drow Ranger with Ember Spirit, Timbersaw as their 2 cores. So it feels like Blizzy on this Timber is going to have his work cut out for him to actually make the space. You know, often we see Timbersaw and think, hey, he's got a pretty good game here. He's going to be able to run around the map, control things up, win a lane, and take some objectives down. But with you, I think the Viking potentially here have the answers to questions as we get ourselves into game one.
It's a lot of magical damage against the Timbersaw, something that not like to play against. Will definitely get the hood this game against Lich, against Tiny, but one wrong move and you're not gonna feel that Timbersaw snowballing. I've seen it so many times. They're like, oh, it sounds like a great Timbersaw game. And if things are not going well for Viking, they can just play away from Timbersaw. Like, don't get to his lane if things are not going well in the laning stage. Also, Earthshaker, like, this is the hero that, you know, for a reason it's not picked. He feels very underwhelming, relying on that Blink Dagger. Fisher got nerfed. Like, before it lasted for 8 seconds. Level 1, now it's 6.5, so that's a pretty big difference.
A lot of emphasis there on his item timing. But he's got some good combos to go along with it. Slayer on that Grandma as well. Going to be offering a lot of damage as we get into those big 5v5s. And you're talking about the keep away with the Timbersaw. If Viking do want to dodge that, Drow Ranger could quite easily be isolated. Kuman, Drow, susceptible to getting jumped by, you know, Tiny Blink, Void, Time Walk, the Mars with the Blink and the Spear. Lots of ways here for Viking to gap close, get in on top of their targets. As neither team really contesting bounty runes. 2 up north. The diagrams both down south. So it looks like Cyber Legacy setting up bottom lane for a bit of a try lane.
Yeah, I think Viking expected that. They adjusted already accordingly, putting Lich and Faceless Void on the top lane, like their stack Mars farm. And yeah, I mean, Cyber Legacy should win a tri lane. You want to have Timbersaw getting the solo XP on the top lane. He's one of the few heroes that, you know, just shines. He wants to get that solo XP, get to level 3, get to level 5, but we can see Viking already doing a good job just zoning him out. He started with the reactive armor. They're going to deny as much as possible, pull the lane back, and continue harassing. Celery started with the 3 enchanted mangoes, which is more than enough. Keep spamming that Frost Nova or Frost Blast. Like, they changed the names of Crystal Maidens, like Nova, Crystal Nova, I don't even know. It was before
Freezing Nova, Arcane Nova.
Q, we're going to call it Q.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we saw Celery kind of going in behind the creep wave. Got a couple of taps onto the Timbersaw. D-body leveled up. Reactive armor comes. And that harassment continues. And keeping Blizzy out of XP range very nice as well. There's a different story down bottom and in towards mid actually here. Tiny 8-2 against the Embers 5-0. Tiny with that, you know, attack damage been pretty good. With the Quelling Blade helping him out, but Magical
Dire's courier has been
going to be able to get the CS and farm here. Celery also sniping Blizzy's courier.
What surprises me is that he's still left in the pool. I'm not sure how, because this hero is way too strong. At least in my book, you know, you have a hero that's scaled, you can play him as position farm most of the time, but he really shines in a mid lane. Boom, trying to make a move on magical on a mid lane. One more hit, but the Fairy Fire.
He's got the Fairy Fire. Now a salve as well. Magical getting very close there. Tiny out of bottle charges now. Gonna have to wait a couple of minutes for that first rune spawn. Feels like we're seeing a lot more early bottles, like the actual rush bottles now, as we had a period of like a year or so, where people were, you know, going nulls, wraithbands, spamming mangoes, waiting for like 3.5 minutes, then getting their bottle for that first refill.
It really depends on the matchup, like who's playing against who in this type of matchup. You want to have the bottle. You know that I don't think Ember Spirit should score a kill on Tiny. Like, Tiny has an upper hand. Matchup outfall 65 to 35, and Boom is playing it nicely, so we might expect to see 1 or 2 heroes rotating, trying to secure the rune, refill the bottle for their mid laners. How's bottom doing? Drow Ranger 8-4. A lot of denies, but not too many CS. Even Mars has more CS than Drow Ranger, but things are going very well for Viking at the moment.
Yeah, you look at the CS board, it's 3 green heroes at the top, and the difference is pretty drastic between these core heroes, especially. That tri-lane with the Earthshaker not particularly working out. They're going to have to try and pull camps, reset this lane equilibrium as often as they can. But it seems that Aramis on this Rubik doing a great job at just dragging that wave back every moment he's available to.
And on the
Nice
top
spots
lane,
the Earthshaker.
Faces Void will get 4. I assume he gets 1 point time dilation, so Timbersaw can't use Timber Chain if they start playing aggressive. Lich for now saving a point if they need to catch him mid-air with the Sinnerstay Gaze. And yeah, I mean, this is Timbersaw. Like, you pick this hero to dominate, he's sitting at 3 CS.
And level 3 as well. Getting zoned pretty heavily. As Big Nom did make a rotation mid. Aramis is there to meet it, and boom, gets the Invis rune top. And this is the thing, you've got the tri lane bottom lane, so there are no heroes to collapse on that top rune, which means Boom can quite easily just take it himself. If Rubik comes towards the bottom rune, he can guard that one as well. Viking in a prime position from every single one of their lanes and looking real hot to take us out of the laning stage into the mid game with the team fight combos they've got. Chrono, Chain Frost, the Mars ulti, and then anything that Rubik can steal. If he gets Mortimer's Kisses, for example, anything from Timbersaw, that raw damage output is going to be pretty insane. Again, it looks like Boom and Magical going head to head. Spirit can't really chase under tower, going to force the Invis and the bottle charges to come. Cyber Legacy forced to move the Earthshaker away as that tri-lane bottom wasn't getting the support, the experience they needed. Sharing between 3 heroes is a pretty big struggle when you're not winning the lane completely.
And now you have Tiny rotating. This is going to be a first blood.
On the bounty rune he goes. Boom, gets the toss down. Slayer there with a dump over the cookie. Allowing a bit of an escape, but the drag back from telekinesis allows them to secure first blood, like you said. Boom gets it.
Radiant
And they spare back the Drow Ranger, so
Dire's
not
courier
really get
has
anything there
been
either.
And now with this setup that they have 3 heroes on bottom, Blizzard didn't get anything from the top lane. They're gonna struggle, so they need Magical to be very active and try to make stuff happen. At one point, Drow Ranger will need to rotate to the top lane because bottom lane will become unplayable, especially when Mars hits level 6, and he's gonna get level 6 before the Drow Ranger. Also, what they can do is swap things around for themselves, put Faces Void on the
Radiant
bottom.
structures
When he
are
gets sick, they
fortified.
get a kill on Drow Ranger. There is no counterplay, there's not a single save.
Feels like Earthshaker find his home. Boom is back to full HP as Big Nom lurking at the top rune spot. Now we can guard it up to Magical, but the Avalanche cross combo coming in. Oh, Boom! He did the maths there, didn't he? He knew exactly how much damage he needed.
Well, you would expect someone being called Magical and having a Flame Guard that absorbs magical damage not to die to Avalanche Toss combo, but here we are, and Tiny picks up the best rune. He gets the Arcane one. He can easily rotate. So far, so good, even though it's only 2 kills. Viking, how they set up their lanes, how they went through the laning stage is just perfect.
It sure is. Like Blizzy is jungling, he's heading back to Fountain, not really anywhere he can be, and then they make up their tri-lane again, bottom. Big Nom here with the Earthshaker. They've got 2 points in Cookie, 2 points in multi-shot. I just don't see how they can make a kill on, a Mars, for example, though, unless completely caught out of position. And you can see Toby, very defensive, hiding behind his little range creep near his tier 1. When the waves meet, he'll be perfectly safe and sound.
Aramis just wants to stay out of XP range, so, that Toby gets that level 6 faster, but also wants to be close if they want to make an aggressive move on Toby.
Smoke time. Yeah, I saw the Lich and I was wondering, why is Lich in the mid lane? But he's come in to smoke the Tiny. Lich is going to try and maybe leech some experience in that mid lane. No, he says, screw it, I'm
Lich
heading back
some
to
experience, huh?
I knew that was
Okay,
coming. I set you up for that one. There's Tiny hiding away. Smoke has popped. Like Boom won't find anyone. They realise Tiny's missing, so he TP's top. This is a sneaky move. Cyber Legacy probably expecting the Tiny to be bottom lane ganking, which he was, but in comes the Sinister Gaze, the toss, the final bits of damage required from the Lich with that Frost Blast.
They don't
one-way
have to
street.
pop the chrono.
Radiant's middle tower
Yep.
is under attack.
You would expect them to go bottom.
Dire's top
Drow
tower
Ranger
is under
very
attack.
killable at the moment. Only level 4, Toby's level 6. There's gonna be Arena, just kidding.
Now they're cooking onto the Rubik. I don't know if Viking were trying to kill the Drow there with Arena's spear after the lift, but Aramis has opened himself up, and the Magic Stick, he's actually made a swift escape. Now the spear with the Arena there, he spears up, but it's onto the Earthshaker. Kuman's still standing strong. Drow Ranger, she's getting into the tree line. But that final hit from the God's Rebuke as Ember Spirit Rotation arrives. Toby might trade it like 2 for 1 here. Cyber Legacy striking back with that first Ember rotation, but Drow Ranger dying, it feels good.
Dire's middle tower
It's
is
more
under
than
attack.
fine trade for Viking, where Tiny is getting closer to his Blink Dagger. It's gonna be
Radiant's
insane timing on the Blink
bottom
Dagger. They
tower
just
is
killed the
under
Drow Ranger, and it's time for Drow to... He's walked the lane. Problem is, you know, Faceless Void still did not use the Chronosphere, so he can't even go to the top lane. Yeah, this is what I just talked about. So Drow Ranger TP's the mid lane.
Try and get her a bit of security. Mars comes back down to bottom. Magical's farming through a camp, and that wave he's pulled in. Nice little royal jelly for him. Well, the Iron Talon he already has. Might be time to shift the Iron Talon onto the Drow Ranger, though, as her home is going to be in the jungle very, very shortly.
Just need to get that level 6, so the farming capabilities are gonna increase.
Completely free game for Void, though. Shad at 4,500 net worth. He's got Hand of Midas. He's farming away like a madman. Lizzie, he walks forward and then runs away as Tiny finds the avalanche. A bit of a combo there, but Magical this time super tanky with that Flame
Radiant are
Guard.
scanning.
Radiant scanning as well. They've got a feeling Drow Ranger has left the mid lane. Lich is here, warding, getting vision of where both Timbersaw and the Drow are farming a little deeper in that dire jungle.
Bounty runes, it's just gonna be...
For the dead. Earth's bounty.
And this is the problem that Earthshaker has. If you're not being active early on, same goes for Tiny position 4, where you're not getting kills, you need that Blink Dagger. I mean, Tiny still achieves 10 times more than Earthshaker without a Blink Dagger.
I mean, yeah, he's got and he's killed Slayer.
Entered in the
Straight towards Toby's lane. Now Magical here gets a couple of spells off.
Never
Have the
refuse.
phase boost to sprint away, which he's going to have to do. Because Boom's hasted, giving chase. The spear from outside, the Z-axis comes into play.
Yep, this is some easy math, you know how Dota works. He just got thrown out of the axis and outside. Man, there's so many cool interactions between stuff like Tiny, Spear, Chronosphere, another combo from Tiny.
Yeah, Timbersaw very nearly dead, and the Fisher working against him with that beautiful chain frost, bouncing back onto Magical. They've done a ton of damage, but the Mormon's Kisses landing on Lich will get them a trade. Now Magical going deeper, he wants Tiny. Bloom is being burnt alive, the poor little pebble. He gets a toss and an avalanche off, and Magical speared up against the trees, and he's gone too deep. Shad with a Chrono, there's the combination, get themselves forward aggressively onto Grandma. The Fisher will block off a couple of Viking heroes, but Grandma doesn't have a way home.
So Shad gets a double kill. This is the first rotation. He's been holding on to that ultimate for
Dire's middle
so
tower is
long.
under attack.
And, you know, Timber's not having impact at all. This is the hero that you want to snowball with. You want to dominate the laning stage, going straight into Hood, but you are very burstable. We saw that in the previous fight where they are having so much magical damage. And overall, Vikings team fight is much stronger, so if they just keep fighting, keep farming, Tiny getting closer to the Boom Dagger, just 300 gold away, it's gonna be... This is easy to execute Dota, you know. Faceless Void, I'm gonna keep farming, I have Hand of Midas going straight into BKB, no shenanigans, they have no abilities that pierce magic community, so he's gonna be fine, you know, just taking care of himself. And then the rest of the team, Tiny, I'm gonna blink in. Same goes for Mars at one point. You're gonna have it, and
Visibility.
it's just simple and easy to execute Dota. Boom, finds another Invis rune.
He does, but the smoke from Cyber Legacy is coming southwards. Void has been pinged out. Hopefully where he is, but they've not exactly seen him yet. Now Shad is by his tower. The rest of the Viking heroes are on the Drow mid lane, though. Woman blown up as they do jump down bottom. The chain's there, the time that actually comes down. He's got time walk in 2 seconds. They want charges, but he's not going to be able to escape. And the spear onto 4. It's beautiful from Daisy. And then comes the chain thrust. You're absolutely right. The constant bounces in and out, but Blizzy is still half HP. The raindrops still holding on to 10 stick charges. Still target to finish off.
It looked like it's gonna be a triple kill for
Radiant
Lich
structures
with that
are
chain
fortified.
frost, but Cyber Legacy, like they
Dire's
need to
middle
protect their
tower
drama. She is their late game insurance. Timber just needs his mid.
Oh, Blizzy, no. We've seen that before. Rainbow TP's coming in now for Cyber Legacy. They want this tiny, real bad cookie forward. There's the slight chains, but it comes to nothing. It feels like Cyber Legacy just constantly playing catch up. That one smoke down bottom, that's the first move they've made, and now reacting to what Viking's been doing. And here comes another smoke from Viking.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
With this tiny,
They
they're
wanna
not
kill?
reliant on Chrono and Mars ulti. They can just keep going.
Radiant are scanning.
They're going for a bigger kill. I thought they were gonna kill Earthshaker. They see Kuman.
Kuman. Oh my god. Die, respawn, and die again. Not the life the Drow wanted to lead. Earthshaker, 700 to blink. Let's see if Viking can stop it in his tracks as they do run forward. The blink and the combo. The Echo Slam stops it just for a second, but the toss will finish him off. Magical now left alone near that mid-tier one to try and defend against all of these Viking heroes.
Once the tier 1 tower falls, it will open up the map for Viking to start playing more aggressively. Fezwood has another Chronosphere, so whenever he joins, there's a combination. Who's holding onto that chain for us?
Now look at the itemization from Void. Minus BKB. We're in the lead, guys. Let's not give them a chance to come back
Radiant's
with Ember
bottom
and Drow.
tower
Let's
is
finish
under
this.
attack.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Maybe he could have gone for Mask of Madness
Dire's
just to,
top tower
increase his
is under
farming a bit
attack.
and have more damage inside the Chronosphere, but it feels like they don't care too much about it. They know if one hero is caught inside the Chrono, he's probably gonna die if they use the Chain Frost or if like Rubik just steals one of the spells, and it's a very good Ruby game. Like if you steal anything from Timbersaw, that's gonna be great against impure damage. If you steal Fisher, anything from Grandma pretty much is good.
Right now with Flame Guard, they're thinking about going on Magical. Combinations there, the Telekinesis doesn't come. Quick jump back to his Remnant and Magical. Not having an amazing game though, going into Spirit Vessel, sitting just behind the
Dire's middle tower
Yeah, I was
is under
wondering
attack.
what's that about. Like, he's not playing against Morphling, against Alchemist. There's no need. None of these heroes cared too much about their Spirit Vessel. I mean, he needed to get, like, damage or Chrono. Except for Chrono.
Yeah, Shad
Easy
finds it
pick
out.
up. They killed their Chicken twice.
Oh, mid lane though, Celery is being chunked down by the Frost Arrows, and Drow will finally get a kill as they also take down the Tiny. Boom, the bigger kill. Picked off by Magical up to the top. Rune Spot.
Dire's top
Expected.
tower is under attack.
Cyber Legacy strike back.
Viking killing Earthshaker twice is a pretty big deal. Just delaying that instant initiation coming out from the Blink Echo Slam is a pretty big deal. Toby. You see that more often, Yule Scepters on Mars, where you have a good setup, you have mana sustain to keep spamming the
Dire's
lanes.
top tower is under attack.
Especially against maneuverable heroes, you know, the spirits in particular. Having that instant Yules into Sphere is super handy. You can get yourself out of Gust and things like that as well if need be, or even
Radiant's bottom
cancel
tower
the
is
Mortimer's
under
Kisses
attack.
from Grandma.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Cyber Legacy starting to
Dire's
try and
middle
get
tower
out
has
on the
fallen.
map, take some objectives, claim a bit of land for themselves. Bottom
Dire's
tier
middle
1 and then into the
tower is under
Radiant
attack.
jungle is where they would
Radiant's
like to be
bottom
heading,
tower has
but you
fallen.
see this smoke from Viking. They're cutting them off at the pass, trying to make sure that the retreat back is not going to work out, and there's the instant initiation. You to the spear on the Ember Spirit, and he has no form of escape from that. It is immediate, snappy, decisive for the Travelers of Mentas. And the Blink Echo, big numbs in for the two of them, and they clear up that really quickly. Mars will fall immediately after, though he won't, he'll sprint away. He's tanky, he's dodging and juking, he's jiving away. There's Toby Mars, where's he going? He's going to left the same way, he's going to Kuman's down, and now the corner this on call that was still avoiding to go back to Mount. And with the damage he's got, he brings them all down as a 5-man wipe.
One thing I learned, Harry, in Dota over all these years, that
Dire's
if you
bottom
see
tower
a
is under
tiny
attack.
with your Arcane Room,
Dire's
you run.
structures
Like,
are
you do
falling.
not take this fight, unless you can burst them down. They only started the team fight with killing out Ember Spirit, so that means 4 versus 5, and they only managed to bring down Mars. He's gonna have, like, 10-second cooldown on both of the abilities.
Dire's bottom tower is under
That's
attack.
pretty insane. Like, I mean, overall, Ken is just insane hero right now, and if he picks up that rune, you better run.
And Toby made so much space there as well. Watching the replay back, Kuman just got chased by the Tiny, the arcane rune you're mentioning. With a pretty huge amount of damage coming from his skill set too. And that is a fight that Cyber Legacy just could not afford to be losing at this point. They were in catch-up mode before. Now it's time for drastic measures. Yeah, of course, that was the blink reveal from Earthshaker too. It looked alright. You need something way more spectacular as Grandma getting caught inside the arena. Blood moves there again with the combo. Blizzy trying to arrive with the help of the Fisher. They do catch Toby, but he's got the frost shield up, and now they focus magical. Lift him up. Telekinesis back, but they don't have a continuation.
Echo Saber done on Tinies. And there's just a casual Nether Shoal as well, more spell damage, some extra magic resistance, and he doesn't care about losing any armor, because right now he's sitting at 20.
Yeah, thanks to Grow.
Talking about Grow bow picked up by Drow Ranger.
What was your favorite item on the Void? Well, you just picked it up and sent it back. It's the stone, as you like to call
Fillet.
it.
Yeah.
But is it a beef fillet? You know, is it filet mignon? Or is it chicken fillet? What is it?
Filet mignon. So Fletch is gonna hold to that one, and he will get one defensive item eventually.
Radiant's
From the
top
extra
tower
gold
is
I
under
see
attack.
Glimmer Cape queued up.
Radiant
Almost 20
are
minutes
scanning.
in. Viking. Without a high ground ward, thinking about playing into the bottom bounty runes and again into this dire triangle. But Cyber Legacy are ready themselves to defend that high ground. Oh, Grandma. Oh, dearie me. She comes in, tries to de-ward, gets the Observer at least, and cookies away. Vikings don't even get the kill. Now a Gust. With a Fisher, Lich has been caught. They blink, they stun, and they slay. Lich flies back, straight in. They've got the Mars Arena catching Drow Ranger. Now where's Boom? The Tiny needs to blink in there. A little save there on Kuman, but Boom says nah. Shuts it down, and Blizzy has to run away. They've got the Void arriving, needs a bash. Time walks forward. As he tries to chase the Timbersaw, but the Mars has found the Earthshaker. That's an actual kill that's happening. Big Num's taken out, and Void is given up on the chase as the
Chrono
catches Grandma. 3 kills in quick succession, and there is just no response here from Cyber Legacy.
Shad did not want a Chrono Ember Spirit. He's
Dire's
a
middle
bit
tower is
tanky
under
with the Spirit
attack.
Vessel, sitting at the 1700 HP. Same goes for Timbersaw. Like, I think this game just feels like 4 versus 5. Timbersaw doesn't do anything. Yo, guys, I'm right there. Hit me. They ignore him.
Hey, he has a hood, but who cares? Nice neutral item picked up by the Void as well. We're gonna hand it to. I saw a clumsy net somewhere.
Oh, it's a great item against the Timbersaw, against the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, really is. And again, this desperation smoke. Cyber Legacy knows that with Blink Echo Slam, they can start a fight and potentially win it, as long as they catch out this
Dire's
Void or
top tower
Tiny.
is under attack.
Toby's Mars is miles
Dire
away,
are scanning.
but it doesn't look like the smoke will connect with anyone on the Radiant team. So it will just be a bit of vision there. Observer wards placed in that jungle. Viking kind of prepping themselves for, a team fight win into Roshan potentially is probably what they're looking for in the next couple of minutes. They don't have the best way, Viking, I feel, of just taking Rosh or sneaking it.
Because they don't have sustain. There's no Lads, there's no Mask of Madness on Face
Radiant's
Void,
middle
so
tower is under
like
attack.
someone's gonna need to tank it up.
Not something they can do just yet.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Void with a
attack.
10-second BKB.
Dire's top tower
As
is
Amber
under
Spirit
attack.
is slowly working towards his. Drow Ranger's still going to go for the Hurricane Pike. Do you feel it's time to just say, screw it, I need BKB? Or is the Chrono just going to screw you up anyway?
That's a good question. I think it's a tough choice for Kuman, where he also wants to have a defensive item, but does not want to buy a BKB yet. Might need to consider getting one instead of a bike here. Because there's such a magical damage. Slayer wanted to die. Like, I feel like he's right there. You know, I want to see some rotations. He's been farming the bottom lane for way too long.
Well, he pushed it all the way out. He forces a
Radiant's
rotation.
middle tower.
He's
is
only
under
dead for
attack.
half a minute, so I'm sure he's all right with it. Buying a little bit of time for Kuman, as well as Magical to keep on farming.
You know, you're in a lot of trouble when Faceless Void on the enemy team bought BKB as the first item, and it's still 10 seconds, did not even use it yet.
Yeah, and they've won a couple of fights, even without using it. 14k net worth lead. As Magical is being eyed up by Toby. Oh, the timing there. Sleight of Fist comes just as he wanted to try to set up with the Evil Scepter.
I feel like Vikings are just toying with them. Faceless Void has Diffusal, Q,
Radiant are scanning.
and he's committing. Like, I think it's a much safer choice if you just get MKB, then you know Draw Range is not gonna get a Firefly. And it's too much damage. Magical, can you punch
Let's
this
go
one?
Magical. I don't think you can. They've got Sinister Gaze, the Avalanche toss, Magical done for. High ground observable there from Aramis as they slowly sneak towards the jungle, and into Roshan they go. They've got a couple of pickoffs. They know that they could very likely just tank through this with Halberd on Void, Tanky Tiny,
Is under attack.
and that Mars of course with Bulwark.
Sharing is caring. Guys, let's share some damage from the Roach. They got a good
Radiant's
pick
middle
off on the
tower
Ember
is under
Spirit.
attack.
You feel like this would be a prime opportunity for Earthshaker with that Blink Echo to try and contest, but with Ember Spirit down and not wanting to buy back, they have to play opposite side of the map. And Roshan's there, 25 minutes in. Viking TPing down to Outpost with Mars. Rubik has started on the tier 2. Trying to get in on top of Drow, but there's also Snapfire and Timbersaw here. On easy initiation for Toby to make.
Money.
Cyber Legacy need to be so delicate with how they approach these fights now. Any Viking heroes, if they start on the right target, they get one spell down, Chrono or Blood. It's just fight over. How are the buybacks looking? Does Dire have any?
Earthshaker and
Ember.
Granny. Yeah. I think it's very important at this stage of the game that you have buyback on your 4s and 5s.
Try and keep it that way. Big Num is eyeing up the Force Staff. Snapfire trying to get towards the Aghanim Scepter. From the mid-range Snapfires we've seen, that's a pretty big turning point with the Aghanims. Get that instant initiation, allow you to spit forward, Timbersaw or something like that, or even gobble up the Drow to spit her away from danger.
Dire's top tower has
Do you think it's going to have a big impact this game?
It's one of the best
Radiant's
acts, in the, at
middle
least
tower
the
is under
most
attack.
fun ones, that's for sure. And you can make so many great plays. I don't think it's that good of an item if you're playing from
Setting up bottom.
behind.
Dire's
Ruby
top
with a
tower is
telekinesis.
under attack.
Chains from the Spirit, but he's been used up with the Snapfire with an Echo Slam. They catch the Rubik, but that's the only kill he'll get. Big Num trades Echo and his life to take down Aramis and potentially save the Ember Spirit there. Thought Magical was probably fine, though.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Well, Cyber Legacy, they're not making like aggressive moves, or just getting pick up here and there, trying to delay this Aegis. They still have a good way of defending their tier 3 towers with the Ember Spirit, Drow Ranger, Earthshaker, but at one point, Viking, they're gonna come for you.
Radiant's bottom tower
Yeah, and they
is
know
under
Blink
attack.
Echo's down, they know Mortimer's Kiss is down. The two really only teamfight contribution
Dire's
tools
structures
that the
are
Dire have, both on cooldown.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
So
attack.
Viking come out, try to scout
Dire's middle
out
tower
anyone
is
lurking in the
under
trees. Toby just spearing into the forest. And mid tier 2 is going to get taken down by the rest of the squad. Snapfire and Ember Spirit still sticking down
Dire's
bottom,
middle
the only
tower
really
has
safe
fallen.
place that they can continue farming. Systematic dismantling of Cyber Legacy here in game 1. Tiny 12-1 and 10, having a great
Radiant's
game.
bottom
Void
tower
at
is under
7-1-3,
attack.
and seemingly unkillable. Radiant Courier in trouble. Magical again, going to Remnant away. He's just playing between his bottom tier 2 and mid tier 2.
Dire are scanning.
Mike the Courier on the way back as well.
Radiant's
Little-
courier has
little
been
Butch the
killed.
Pudgeling. Maybe a little Fishy as well.
It's pretty much the only kill right now that they can get, unless they commit with
Courier?
the Echo Slam. Yeah,
Radiant are scanning.
it's very hard for Cyber Legacy to take a fight. Scan's gonna connect.
Oh, do they see him? He's so close. Aramis. Oh, the fog of war must have been millimeters away from Rubik spotting the Ember Spirit there. Viking are forced to all track back. Good little spell. Grabbed by Rubik. Now he has Fisher. Even more long-range initiation to catch the Ember Spirit, who doesn't quite have BKB yet. Jumping onto Void. Bash him up. Yules into the air with a spear to come. Toby lines it up but misses this time.
Aghanim Scepter completed a Snapfire. Be possibly a save, maybe not inside the Chronosphere unless it's really the edge of one of the allied heroes, but they can start to make, you know, possibly a comeback when Aegis is gone, and it should be gone in 30 seconds, so I think it's time for Cyber Legacy to make an aggressive move. Smoke up and try to make stuff happen. As you said, spit out Timbersaw in front of them.
Force him to do something. They do catch Lich. Celery with the Glimmer Cape, but they've got Reveal.
Bullseye.
Seeing what's happening. Boy comes in, looking for Drow. He'll just try and pick him up. Boom. Helping him out a little bit there, but Kuman has already TP'd back to Fountain.
Line Chrono, let's go.
Yeah, just throw it in there. Clean. Spots out Blizzy. Yules up, cancel his chain. And now Toby arriving, Yules and Yules. There's like 3 Yule Scepters here. Rubik, Mars, and Timbersaw all sharing the Cyclones, but Blizzy, unfortunately for him, will not be leaving that Radiant Triangle with his life. DD root spawning bottom means Void. Be able to go potentially threaten high ground.
Double damage. Tiny's gonna pick that up in a bottle. Tiny's massive. Crystallis
right.
with double damage. Going for
Holy
that
crap.
Daedalus. Like, next item should be Aghanim Scepter if it even comes down to that.
3000 HP flat. Very aesthetically pleasing. He's going to be having some real big crits, isn't he, with that Crystallis? And they'll just group up together. TP back into that mid lane. And as we see Cyber Legacy really playing tight. They
Dire's
can't
top tower
have
is
any
under
heroes
attack.
really isolated on the map. I mean, no one's even defending top lane. That's how afraid they are of this initiation from Viking. High ground ward sees Toby. Tanky Mars though, as he gets fissured, but boom, the perfect initiation on the Big Num. Stop the Blink Echo, kill the Earthshaker, no buyback on him. The Big Num's down now as Magical Sinister Gaze back into the damage in the Mars Arena. With a Chrono, did they even need it? Oh, Chad going on the running with the big old Chain Frost bouncing in to clear up the Drow. Two-man's gone, but Blizzy wiped off the face of the map. And 32-11, Cyber Legacy, they look done.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
You know what I like to say, Gary, when it's time to call it, it's time to call it. And they might, you know, learn a thing or two from Hellraisers, even though they are out. They know how to GG out with a style, you know, they understand the game is over, let's just call it and try to focus on the second game. So this is going to be at least 2 sets of Raxes.
Really, with no response. But yeah, it might be time to practice that good old, you know, shift enter, GG enter.
Are under attack.
Get your fingers all warmed up for game 2. Snapfire's like, yeah, sod that. I'm not defending. I'm gonna go spit some creeps at bottom lane. Viking closing this one out. One lane remains as Rubik tries to set up the push towards tier 2 and the tier 3 bottom. Roshan could spawn in 20 seconds. Should see Viking send one of their 3 couriers. There's a whole squadron of couriers flying back to Fountain. Nice formation. Pick up some mangoes, and who's that? Celery sees the mango tree. He's like, I'm gonna pick up some mangoes on the way back to the courier.
Let's see the roast spawn. Could spawn in a second. 2 minutes. Long spawn.
Pretty long. Lizzie out in the open, Toby spots the drow in the back, and there's the read straight in onto Kuman. Getting away from the spear a little bit there with the mounter, but in comes the Blink Echo, catching the void, but look how tanky Shat is. He's going to be able to time what it's all about, thanks to the Beacon, he's going to jump in, or catch Slayer, Grandma, into the retirement home you go. Get out of my game. Shat is chasing more Big Numbs in trouble, as they do bring it down. Oh no, Toby's got one shot is still in this Experimental comes a little bit late. Finally, he'll fall. Magical doing a decent job, but there's just no turnaround play here. Cyber Legacy have spent everything, but will fall. The Mormons kisses thanks to the buyback coming through from Slayer, but the Void is still up and running. And that will force the GGs now.
But yeah, they called GG, Gary. I mean, they could have called it before. Pretty much a perfect game from Viking, where they, executed the lanes well. They set it up perfectly.